Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you. Or actually, I can't see you. I'm imagining. But nice to be here with you. Interesting, eh? This world, this imaginary world that we live in here on Zoom. Anyways, hello, hello, hello. Please say hello and let me know where you are and let's have, I'm happy to be here with you. Ah, Christina, nice. Happy New Year. Yeah, hello and welcome to those that watch me live and then those that watch this later. I'm really welcome to Conscious Conversations for February. Hi, Carol. Yeah, good morning from East Vancouver. And hello, Brenda. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, yeah, hello and welcome, everybody. So here we are, 2023, and today is actually the February 4th. It's the official start for the year of the water rabbit with the solar calendar. And so, hi, Patricia. Yeah, happy year of the rabbit. And so I want to ask you guys a question. Like one of the graphics that my wonderful assistant, Lois and friend made, right? It's like, in 2023, I want more of what? And I'd love if you put into the chat here, what is it you want more of in 2023? Like more discipline, more purpose, more acceptance, more love, more money flow, more abundance, more authenticity. I'll share with you what it is. One of my goals is for 2023, but what is it you want, hope that 2023 will bring you? You know? Connection, yeah. And so thank you for joining and connecting here. Yeah, thanks, Carol. Yeah. My word for 2023, acceptance. Yeah, peace comes with that, right? Oh, you did some activations yesterday, Patricia. Great. I did too, and I'm doing some more tomorrow. And yes, lots of cool things happening. So, yeah, more joy. Absolutely. That's actually on my list as well. But I'll tell you what, hi, Krista. Nice to have you here. I'm asking everybody, what is it you want more of in 2023? I want to start off a little bit here with some interaction. Courage. Yes, courage. Yeah. Hi, Linda. Lovely. So, Linda, I'm asking everybody, what is your intention? What would you like? Maybe it's not even a conscious intention yet. Abundance. Perfect. What is your what is it you wish to have more of in 2023? So I'll tell you, my key word is relax. Now, this doesn't mean do less for me at all. What it means is I want to be fully present in everything I do in a relaxed state so that I can enjoy the moment. So that it's not about being in the future, I can relax in the future. It's not about relaxing in the past or, me. It's like, right, I want every single moment that I'm doing to be conscious and to be present and to be able to see the life in that moment. So relaxed. Contentment, great word. Peace is a good word. Relax and flow. Yeah. So yeah, completion, closure, great. Thank you for your interaction. I really, really appreciate that. And so for those of you that watch this later live too, it's like, okay, how do you know? See, once we set an intention, like, so for me with the word relax, it becomes, I ask myself in the moment, I scan my body, am I relaxed? And if I'm not relaxed, it's like, okay, take a deep breath and sort of get into my body and do what I'm doing from the present moment. And if abundance is a goal, then you ask yourself as you're doing different things, it's like, are you every day or every month, do you have specific goals towards that? And I'm really excited to share with you, a lot of you know the different courses that I'm doing these days are really to support you all to get there, right? So here's what for be in the flow. I love that, Kim, So I think that perhaps the single greatest paradigm shift that is happening to human beings with astrology, or whatever we want to say right now, is that we realize that we alone are responsible for writing our stories. It's not anybody else's job to create a new story. We have the responsibility to shape that into something meaningful. And so I'm so excited to be here with you. As you all know, my purpose is always with consciousness, which is just another word maybe for awareness, okay? To awaken, heal, transform, and empower ourselves, because you have to be in the present moment, and actually the only moment where we have power is now, right? And so my goal with learning and studying metaphysics has always been to help myself and others towards that purpose. And so we do not predict the future. So I look at astrology, yeah, I can see it might be raining. Okay, so what? We co-create the future. Yes, it might be raining, but giving that meaning, whether it's energy and accomplishment or joy or the different things that you're all typing down as what you'd like to have more of, now we take the energy, the vibrational energies that are happening, and we use that to be in the right momentum, if you will, like the sun is shining, it's time to grow, or it's winter, it's time to rest, that we start working with energies instead of against energies. So why do we study astrology, or why did I even originally come to astrology? Is that I wanted, first of all, to understand my life. I wanted to understand why I'd been adopted. I wanted to understand why I was 6 feet tall. I wanted to understand, just different things in my life, because I sensed that there was a pattern. And then what one of my teachers said is suffering occurs when you're not in alignment with your destiny. And actually what that means is it's like maybe your chart shows, her actual comment to me, one of the first readers, was your parents are useless. Now, she didn't mean that they didn't love me, but she just said, you don't have a chart where your parents support you. So literally that was true. But what that actually can become, that doesn't mean I have to suffer. I can turn that into, oh, I chose that with my soul. I picked that story for now to learn, can I still be loving? Can I learn about connection? It drove me to learn things. And so it actually empowered me when I started to understand my chart and all the aspects in it to be the best that I could be. And so I came to astrology because I wanted an easier life. But at the end of the day, I actually realized that it's up to me. And you guys have heard me talk many times about the heaven, earth, and man trilogy that creates our destiny, right? Well, the really good news with that is 33% of our destiny. Once you take your blueprint, once you figure out who you are, a banana, an apple, yang water, yin water, whatever, that you take that and then you do the actions that are needed to become your best place, your best self. So that's really cool with 2 of the classes that I'm coming up with right now, right? One on February 18th, and we've called it Discover Your Destiny, or Discover, let's see, what do I actually have it called? I'm so not good at this. Discover Your Purpose. But you know what? Discover Your Purpose is actually, why did you choose in this lifetime to be incarnated into that personality? What is the purpose of this personality? What are your lessons? And by embodying them, how do we attract and manifest more? You actually have to take the personality that you were born into and raise it to its highest vibration. And that in doing that, you have to understand what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses, and then go from that into let's create. Okay, let's learn maybe what you need to do to overcome the weaknesses. So that class is coming up on February 18th. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. And then, of course, this is a peach blossom year. And peach blossom means that there's romance in the air, love in the air. So this is also a really good year to actually be more in tune with love. So that class is coming up in March. So those 2 classes are coming up, and I really hope you can join us. So by understanding your vibrational blueprint and accepting responsibility for it, stop being a victim, we can turn things around. So what's going on? Well, I don't have to tell you that things are intense, right? There's a lot of mental, I don't know, we could even say mental illness, if you will, depression, anxiety. People are struggling, right? And I would say too, and actually I really want to say too, the purpose of metaphysics for me is not to create fear. Okay, so there's lots of teachers out there with tons of free stuff out there to listen to. I want you to all pay attention though to the lens, like, because you can say do an activation, you can say do this, do that. If it's coming from fear, because we're part of the co-creative process, we're actually creating more fear. So the trick with all this is why we brought in Moon Group and some of these other teachings that we're doing, okay, for free even, is to help people release their fears, come to acceptance, and then manifest from a place. Because imagine if you're vibrating at a place that's higher in acceptance and courage, you are going to manifest greater things than if you're doing it out of fear, because the second you're in fear, you're contracting and that. So this is really important, right? To be able to understand that you are a huge part of the co-creative process, right? So the second we start looking at things as nothing happens to you, everything happens for you, the whole story shifts, right? The whole story shifts, which is so beautiful, because now all of a sudden you can be curious and go, why did I choose this? Now, yeah, I'm someone who likes to go deep, and not everybody has to, okay? I like to go deep. I like to release the past. I like to work with that. I can also tell you that this is water wood year with wood tiger month, and so we're going to talk about that right now, or I can talk about Aquarius and Saturn and all that stuff that'll help you. But really, when you understand who you are in the process too, that's very, very empowering. So what's happening now? People are having events happening in their lives that are sort of shaking them. We're worried about financial crisis, if you will. People are losing jobs. So why would that all be happening, right? And without me actually saying what all the specific aspects are. The purpose is are you living to your best potential? Are you a giver or a taker? Are you a victim and a martyr? Or are you someone that goes, okay, let's take a deep breath and let's take some control here? Those are completely different energies to this. And a good speaker or a good teacher is going to teach you that. And so take a deep breath right now, because we are co-creating a new future. I want all those words that you've put there to come true for you this year. So let's take a deep breath. And with that breath, and actually you can do it all day today, because it's like let go of Water Tiger 2022, and consciously do this even every day. Put your word in front of you and go, I'm creating a new future. Yes, perfect, Patricia, that you thanked the Water Tiger for all the learning and growth. Absolutely. Gratitude is crucial to manifesting. Okay? It is a crucial step of manifesting, because otherwise it's never enough, right? And if you're in a state of gratitude, imagine if your vibration is gratitude all the time. What is your vibration going to pull in? More gratitude. No matter what type of activation you do, right? If you can come to a place even of acceptance, it's going to raise the vibration. And this is actually the biggest thing I think that is coming with the awarenesses of the astrology that's happening, is that we're actually realizing how powerful co-creators we are. And then that takes me to the Manifesting Magic class, which I'll talk more about at the end. But I specifically created that class to have a group where we meet monthly and talk as to support each other, because the day-to-day living of living a better life is not easy. We need support. So, Joanne, you put here that you want community. Yeah, connection, right? Because together we are more. You want to hang out with like-minded people. Now, part of that is you want connection, you have to connect. All right, so like what's happening on astrological levels? Okay, let's just look at this. And so happy solar new year. Today is the solar new year, so we are officially now in the year of the water rabbit. Tomorrow is the full moon, so it's intense, right? And cool. We're feeling it, right? And today is the first day then of the month of the wood tiger. So the first month of every year is always in Chinese astrology the tiger month. And it's a month that we call inside the tiger is yang wood, and it's also is yang wood is like growing with, have you ever seen in the spring how fast things come out of the ground? It's like things are going fast. It's a travel star. It's a whole bunch of different things. But what that means, because the tiger month, it is the month of new beginnings. Okay, so one of the first steps with that is you have to let go of the old stories. No two things can occupy the same space at the same time. So what are you focusing on? And a large part of who will really do well in the years to come is the people who master mind training. right? Successful people have positive, generally positive outlooks. Courage doesn't mean that everything is bliss and joy. No, but it means they don't let what happens stop them, all right? Now, for the last few years, it has not been easy, right? You've heard me talk about, whether you talk about the Great Conjunction or the Year of the Rat or the 0 degrees, whatever, right? There's been a lot going on. Why has that been going on? Because we're being asked to look at the world differently. We're being asked to live a different reality. I mean, I don't think anybody out there can actually say that how we have lived the last 50 years has been the way that actually makes the world a better place, right? And so in order to change, we actually have to recognize what's going on and maybe it's not working. And so then Mother Nature or God or whatever you want to call it has to come around and create a big story. Now, we keep getting big stories. 2008 was a financial crisis. The COVID whole thing happened, right? It's not like poor me or what happened. What did you learn? And what are you taking away moving forward? Okay. So January, we're just finishing January, we finished January, right? Is always a transition month, if you will. It starts with the winter solstice, it's the beginning of the year energies. And so the last month has been for a lot of people, I would say actually depression and malaise, which people typically will say often, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, is one of the energies. But really what it's meant to do is, did you reflect and then take action on what you need to let go of, right? And so January was a month of, I love actually that the energy of the ox is at the very end of the year, and we call the ox a tomb star. But really what that means is, what energies did you put to bed? It's the opportunity to put fear to bed, okay? And so, yeah, the big theme is letting go. It's happening, right? Jobs, relationships, different things. Now, but it doesn't mean good relationships have to be let go of. And it doesn't even mean you need to break up if you're in a relationship, but it means that if what you're doing in your relationship isn't to your highest good, isn't feeding your heart, because really we're entering into period 9, and which is a Chinese astrological term for, in 2024 we will be formally in it, but we're actually already in the beginning energies of it. 9 is the age of fire and transformation. And so it's like, as you burn in the fire, you can be the phoenix coming through the ashes. What is it that you now need to let go of? Now, rather than actually maybe looking at it at people or things, what emotions do you need to let go of? Shame, guilt, fear. And then it's like, where are they in your life? Like, what brings them? And so for me, some of that too is like, oh, there's that thought. And sometimes I just sit with it and breathe, and I breathe it out. I'm consciously taking actions to change those thoughts. Why do we incarnate, right? What is the bigger picture of all these things? We incarnate so that we can raise our vibration. And really, I think it's that simple. Okay. So are you open to new stories? Are you open to creating a new stories? And okay, because be careful maybe by saying yes, because you know what that actually means. If you're open to creating a new story, the old story has to go. And that might be an emotional release. Now, I know some of you are already in that. And what that process as a human requires grieving. Okay? So there's loss. Just process the loss. But there can be new beginnings at the same time. All right? So that's how we transform from fate, because it's like your chart says, oh, here's a potential thing that could happen. And then as we move into destiny, we take that and co-create our future into our purpose, okay? We can overcome our charts. I'm sure you've heard of gurus, right, who can literally manifest miracles in front of your eyes, living ones today. Like, they can create rice, they can heal people, they can do many different things. Do you know that we actually all have that ability to manifest energy when we learn how to work with it? Isn't that amazing? And so this ability is available to all of us. And so it's not a fluke that successful people have successful mindsets. And so this is actually one of the biggest shifts that I'm bringing to you too with the teachings here. Astrology is just a tool. Law of attraction is just a tool. The matrix has tools in it. What's the best way to work with that? Raise your vibration. All right. So this is the things that are happening. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so what's happening in February is it's a chance to tie up loose ends, okay, and get ready to start the right foot. The full moon tomorrow is a bit of a no compromise full moon, and so please consider joining us tomorrow night for the full moon circle, okay? And so what for the next year, we will continue for now having full moon circles. But what happens in the full moon circle, I do a little bit of teaching, but the really big purpose and gift of a full moon is to release, to recognize and see the emotions that need to be seen and to release them. And as we release them, we allow for new energies and light to come in. So many people are missing that step in co-creating. It is a very powerful Leo full moon. You are absolutely correct there, Patricia. And so this full moon will compel you to follow the truth. So that's great because this means actually you have an ability through journaling or different things in your heart to take responsibility. One of the other lessons for this year is commitment, right? And so commitment, those who get ahead are the people who commit to actions, to showing up. So you guys have all asked you to all put down a word. What's your word for the year? Are you actually committed to creating that? All right. So yeah, the energy, so actually in January, I want to just go back to the new moon in Aquarius because it is worth mentioning what happened in January as well with this new moon. It connected to a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that we had in December 2020, which is actually where a lot of this whole the peak of rebirth and starting new stories and all that happened. So we got a chance to revisit that a little bit in January, which is the big reset, right? And we were in the birth canal. Now, yes, we are out of the birth canal, but I think it's still worth looking at what are you co-creating your story, right? So be aware and plant your seeds and set your intentions with care. This is for the year coming up. I know many of you here have already been doing this with me. It's like we're babies, if you will, with learning how powerful a manifestors we are. And babies need time to grow and to learn how to use their powers, right? Now, what are some of the things? I'm not going to get too much into all the opportunities and energies of 2023 because I've talked about them and there's people out there talking about them. But the big thing is there is water and wood in the rabbit is a very soft and gentle energy on its own, providing new growth opportunities for everybody. But the chart of 2023 is one that indicates that there's the ability to have the strength to have commitment is weak, and the ability to be a rebel and not part of the solution is also high. And we're seeing it already. Now, we can take this rebel energy, and what if we become disruptors with a positive spin on it, right? Like, so that you actually choose to be a disruptor rather than a rebel that is creating separation and more fear and more war. Why don't you become a disruptor and change your routine and smile at everybody? Why don't you become a disruptor and call out the elephant in the room and say, oh, I think that our culture at our works isn't taking care of people. Like, to join with people to create powerful solutions, right? We need disruptors. The energy of 2023, to a degree, will bring out a lot of disruptors. But who are you following on Facebook? Are you following on Facebook and Instagram the ones that are promoting hate and fear? Or are you following the ones that are promoting joining? Okay, it's really important. So Pluto is in its last 2 years of Capricorn. How is that affecting the collective, which is going to take us right into period 9? Like, and so those of you who don't know, I studied Western astrology for many years from the Western London Faculty of Astrological Studies back in my 30s, and I'm an adept Western astrologer, and I've been doing now Chinese astrology for 30 years. The reason I focus perhaps more on Chinese astrology as remedy is because I love 5-element theory, because 5-element theory is a really practical and easy way for people to understand how to work with energy. What happens with Western astrology, though, if I say Pluto, is in its last 2 years of Capricorn, what does that even look like, right? I can tell you energy, but how we actually work with that is more than on a maybe intellectual basis, rather than 5-element theory gives us real metaphysical sit this way, do this way, activate this in order to work with the energies. What's happening though is the collective is cleaning out the stuck and stagnant crap of our lives. This is going to continue. We're still in it. We're coming out of the shadow, and this is going to be seen in our relationships to power, greed, control, hoarding, big business, government, and authority. I'm going to repeat that. We are coming out of the shadow and re-examining our relationships to power, greed, control, hoarding, big business, government, and authority. Now, this is not about other people changing. We are all connected energetically. So this stagnant crap in our own lives is coming to the surface. So many of us are doing psychological work, if you will, that are understanding what are the belief patterns I inherited from my parents? What are the belief patterns I got in the first 7 years of life that sort of formed how I think, but it's not suiting my life? This is the opportunity now to start shifting and working at that. So we look to astrology for guidance. Now for me, I get more from the water rabbit that, okay? Be flexible, be adaptable, be nurturing, right? Be unpredictable, right? Grow plants, be free. And now grow plants literally, but plant seeds. Right? Plant seeds for new beginnings. This is the opportunity for this year, everybody. Your intentions are the seeds you are planting for the future. Every thought is a vibration, all right? So our bodies are largely made of water, right? And so every month when there's vibrational influences coming in, we interact with that and it brings us new ideas. Okay, so this month is wood, pure wood, and it's a wood year. So there's lots of wood out there. If you know what wood is to your chart individually, you can use that. Like, so for instance, if you are a metal day master, wood is your wealth element. So it's a good opportunity then to work with ideas around, money, if you will. If you are a water day master, wood is your output element. You'll be more creative. You perhaps have more disruptive ideas or rebellious ideas, but remember your intention for the year. If you want more joy, whatever you do should be in actions that actually give joy as well as receive joy, right? If your day master is wood, the opportunity there is to connect with other people because wood meets wood sort of thing. And I'm just going to go through this in general. There's other things where I'll talk about where we can go into more depth, and I'm going to do the 12 animals in a second, and then I'm going to talk about the Feng Shui and give you an activation. But you get the gist of this, right? It's like the earth person with wood has an opportunity this month to be more disciplined, more, have a routine. And then the last one would be fire. Fire with wood there's an opportunity to learn something new, to be more supported, to create better systems. Now that's a very, very general look. We actually have to look at the whole chart to understand more. And so, let's talk about the 12 animals. The other thing too, I just want to say too, is when I look at the chart, not just for the month or the year, the tiger and the snake are both very strong in the chart for the year. And as many of you know, that forms an ingratitude penalty. Okay, so an ingratitude, a partial ingratitude penalty, amongst other things. So what is an ingratitude penalty? Because this is going to be collectively affecting all of us. Okay, but if you have monkey, tiger, or snake in your chart, this will be stronger even too, to you personally. And so remember, everything happens to you, not for you. Hello, Manuela. Hello, Yadira. Lovely to see you here. Okay, so everything happens for you. When you learn the lesson, so sometimes lessons are easy and sometimes lessons, bring a bit of a jolt. An ingratitude penalty, which is affecting all of us, is a sense of people. The first thing is you're not grateful. It makes everybody a little bit, life's not good, complaining, this could be better. Oh, I don't like this. Now, if you master gratitude, the ingratitude penalty won't affect you. Now, how do you know if the ingratitude penalty is affecting you? It's what's happening outside of you in your life. It is the reflection that you are creating. So if people are complaining around you, it is actually an opportunity to ask yourself, where am I complaining? If people are not appreciating you, check with yourself. Are you appreciative? So it's not about them. It's not about going on out there and saying, oh, you're never happy with me. I can never do it right, blah, blah, blah. Right? It's like, oh, how did I, this is actually the question I ask myself regularly. How did I create this? Right? How did I create this? And I thought, oh, okay, I'm actually, I can see how my thoughts contributed to this, right? And so I'm going to be talking more and more this year and in Moon Group and all that, how we can work with our thoughts to create peace, which will raise the vibrations so that the manifestations that we do are at a higher level. Doesn't that sound cool? Isn't that what we all want, right? Yeah. So the first thing is collectively, we are all going to experience a bit of an issue with our gratitude this year, okay, because of the way the chart is. Well, okay, how do we do that? We consciously go, oh, I need to be mindful about being more grateful. All right. So the tiger this month, because it is Tiger Month, and what's happening there is if you have tiger in your chart anywhere, it's like there's competition out there is one of the ways you could look at. There's an identical tiger out there. So you have to learn to share. Now, sharing can be good, right? But now you have to share. Now, if you don't want to share, then you have to be strategic. Say you're a salesperson and you want the sales to be unique, to be better, to do better, right? And so if you're born and I have tiger in my chart as well, it's like, okay, now there's a month where either I learn to share or I become unique so that I'm the one that people want to invest with as a tiger, so to speak, all right? Now, a lot of times when the self element or the same animal shows up that you have in your chart, especially for the year, let's say here, okay, let's keep it simple, people get insecure and they start feeling like they start comparing themselves. Now, I think you can work with that if you like that, because you could use that to go, how can I be better? But don't compare yourself to put somebody down. Because when we start judging, we're creating separation. And when we create separation, we feel alone. So now how can we actually have an awareness, oh, I could do this way, but still be grateful to the person maybe for showing this. This is changing the whole way of how we look at the world, right? And so Tiger, you're going to have a bit of that happening this month. The opportunity for you is self-reflection and yeah, choosing, is this an opportunity or a competition? Yeah, thanks, Melanie. Welcome to the year of the water rabbit too. Now the rabbit, this month, generally, so there's two ways of looking at the animals. Okay, well, there's many ways actually if we're going to do it properly in a chart, because the animals have an element that interacts with your chart. But they also interact with each other in combinations, clashes, different ways. And then they also have what's called the sansha, the stars. And the stars can be positive or negative. But even negative stars, to me, so-called negative stars, are just opportunities, right? They just show different things that are potentially happening. I like to use the analogy of it's going to rain, bring an umbrella, right? Or here's the cool thing, because not all our destiny is astrology. 33% of our destiny is astrology. 33% of our destiny is your feng shui, and 33% of our destiny is what you do with your actions and thoughts, okay? So the rabbit this month and this year has lovely stars. And because it's the year of the rabbit and you are a rabbit, it is the month of the tiger, but you have an opportunity to shine. It will be pressure. Are you willing to stand up to it? Can you look at it? But the stars are very good. If you are going to take some action this month, this is a good month to take action. People will tend to trust you. People will like you. There's people out there that you can actually go to for help to support you to move forward. The dragon this month and the month of the tiger can look forward to a busy month. Okay, there's a lot of things to do, perhaps a bit of overwhelm. Okay, so I'm telling you this at the very beginning of the month. So now what do? Manage your time. Oh, and the other thing too is this is so true. Luck can be created. Okay, so it's like, yes, luck can come to you like the sun is shining, it can grow. What if it's not shining? Well, then go under a grow lamp. Go buy a grow lamp. Do you know what I mean? It's like now we have to work in ingenious ways to get luck, so to speak. So when I say to somebody, oh, this is not a great year to make money, There are always things you can do to either level up your skills, to get ready. When is the money coming? There will be months that have money, right? It is now working with that in a positive way. My clients who are successful and wealthier are the ones who actually use this energy to plot their timing, if you will, okay? So the heavy workload for the dragon happens this month. Yeah, okay, no problem. And then it says, it's like also, okay, the energy is a bit as well. So because of the heavy workload, you're going to have a tendency to not pay attention to details. Because you're not paying attention to details and you're cutting corners, this could get you into trouble. You might become absent-minded. You might be texting and driving. You might be speeding. You might do things. Don't do it. Slow down, because it can get you into trouble. Okay? And so if you get into trouble this month, it's because you caused it by not paying attention to details. If you plan properly and allow time for things to happen and just take a deep breath and are in the present moment, you will do fine. Now, the snake and the tiger are not necessarily best friends. Okay, so when I say that and that opportunity comes up for you, we all have relationships that are not healthy, okay? But we're always, I love something I heard many years ago, so I was going to say 100 years ago, sometimes I feel that old. We are 100% responsible for 50% of the problem, okay? 100% responsible. So there's no marriage where you're just a victim. There's no friendship where you're just a victim. That's like you are 100% responsible for choosing to be there. So this is a month where what might come up for you is relationship issues that aren't serving you, where you now need to make a choice. Because the snake is one of those people that often procrastinates. Okay, and because what's the energy of a snake? They watch and they wait and then they pounce, right, when they're ready. So I would say this is a month maybe to, if you don't take action, to at least start thinking about what needs to change so that you can actually start bringing the energy into your life that really serves you. This month is a very good month for you to get a good start on new beginnings by planning carefully what you want, and then actually taking action to resolve the problems that aren't serving you. Okay, absolutely, you can do that. Now, will it be a bit emotional? Yes, because snake and tiger have an interaction that feels emotional. Don't let your emotions stop you. So this is again then a month like, so for a snake, what might be your bad habits when your emotions come up? You watch too much TV, you do gaming, eat too much, whatever. You push down the feeling. This is not the month to do that. Step into it and make hay while the sun shines, so to speak. The horse. The horse and the tiger are actually friends, okay? So that means opportunities will come to you, all right? The stars, though, are a little bit of, there's a lot of responsibility out there. There's a lot of people competing with you for the energy. And so you're going to have to be, manage your emotions, pay attention to detail, and then pay attention to detail is actually the important thing. If you see something that needs it, don't ignore things that you're seeing. If you take care of the details, I think you will actually have a very good month, and this month will set you up for the whole year even, right? So it's like, get more information if you need more information. Don't make assumptions. And I think often for horses, what that actually is a bit of an issue is they make assumptions. They're in general a bit of a good mind reader, if you will, or whatnot. And what we're doing is, this is not the month to be a mind reader. This is a month, or even to be a rescuer. You don't need to be the rescuer. The only person ultimately to rescue is yourself. So if you're rescuing people and you're not happy in that interaction, it's time to make some adjustments, okay? And so could you make sales? Yeah, you can make money this month. You're going to have to probably do it collaboratively with other people, but generally a stable month where opportunities come to you. Okay. Now the goat and the tiger. Now the goat, first of all, is going to have a much better year than last year. Well, as far as, okay, if I say much better, really at the end of the day, I could say last year was a bad year, but if you took action, you had a good year. It is so possible to make your own luck. But generally last year was a year where you were pushing upstream, okay, a bit, and feeling, maybe even feeling a little bit alone. All right. This is a year where you will feel less alone, right? There's a lot of positive energy out there for you. I actually think it's a very good month. You might make some new friends. You might have some new colleagues or people joining your good. Go out there and do some networking. You can meet people. So if you're in a career, you can meet people that can help you get ahead. And if it's just in your personal life, go join a new club or something. Um, uh, yeah, generally, I would say quite a neutral month that way. The whole year as well, though, will be a better year for you as well. The rabbit is your friend. So that even also says there's opportunities out there for you to make new friends. And yeah, it's like, but you know what the question is are you friendly? In order to have new friends, do you know how to be a good friend? Right? That's so important, you know? All right, monkey. Now, the monkey and the tiger have what's called a clash. And so the first word that can pop into your head if you're thinking of a clash is change. So if change is coming this month, and then depending on your day master, if you actually know what the clash involves, you can create changes with that. But this is a good month to create some changes, changes in routine, changes in behavior, maybe changes in some of the things you do, right? So what happens when there's a month that's considered an aspect like change is you tend to maybe not sleep as well. And anytime change comes up, as humans, we get alarmed. Manage your emotions. Don't get stuck in them, right? Like work with that. And so for sure, you can be compensated. There's some good money stars there for you. So you can make the money. I would say manage your energy levels, right? Manage your energy levels. Yeah. Roosters, this month with the tiger, it have good stars. Now the rooster in 2023 is going to have to create some of its own luck in the sense that, and hopefully 2022 was such a good year that you have created enough momentum that's moving you forward. But in 2023, that momentum has changed into something now that you have to carry forward. There's still really positive stars there for you to work with. Well, positive stars isn't the right word to work with it, but there's energies there that support you to move forward. This month, though, particularly, there's money energy out there for you. So, go after it if you will. However, one of the things I actually like how Chinese astrology talks about, too much wealth hurts the health. Anytime we're working, we're busy. So you consciously have to then offset that with proper rest, eating properly, and exercise. And so the exercise part too is, so I worked with a business coach. I've shared this with you guys before. I've worked with a business coach years ago, and I asked him, do you work with law of attraction? And he said, I don't need to. I work with energy levels because if you're tired, you cannot manifest. And I thought that's so true. That's so true. You cannot. You actually have to have, be in good energy. And so, it's like, so that's actually the opportunity for roosters this year is to make sure, particularly, that they keep their energy levels really high so that your own energy can manifest. Now, what will happen for the roosters, there's some aspects out there that are going to rattle you this year in the sense of, but rattle is good. Are the people you hang out with good to hang out with? Do they lift you up? Are the things that you do true to your values? So when you have a year where it's a bit more of a challenge, it's time to step up and be true to your values, be true to your heart, have gratitude for what you have. You bring all those up to the future, like to now. I think you could have a better year than ever just by learning how to overcome yourself. All right. So yeah, stay on a healthy diet, roosters, and exercise regularly. Now the dog. The dog is also friends with the tiger. Okay, so which is good. And the dog is one of the so-called luckiest animals of 2023. So partly what that means is lots of opportunities are going to come your way, and people are going to have less demands on you. And there's lots of opportunities for you to, move forward in life. The key there, though, is often complacency sets in. Okay, so even opportunities could come up. Like I've seen people in years like this go, oh, my aunt just offered me a trip to Europe, all expenses paid. Now, some of people could say, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, but if you're, say, 35 years old and you've got real momentum happening in a business that requires some growth and action and focus, and now you're going to take 2 months off and go to Europe, all expenses paid, at the end of the year, you might actually lose money because you didn't grow your business. Okay, so it's important now to really have goals, dog, Mr. and Mrs. Dog, because you can manifest this year really easily what you want, but you're going to have to say no to the things that don't support what you want, and the universe is going to test you because that's what happens. You can say, oh, I want to be, have autonomy, but then somebody gets sick and go, oh, can you help me? And you can come over every day or whatnot. And not that you don't want to do it, but if you can't do that with your heart open, you are not creating yourself a better future. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Yeah, there's plenty of noble people around to have help and offer you assistance, to the dog. But it's like, okay, I would say it's a good time to upgrade your knowledge and skills, like to become the best that you can. But you really can, you should have your pedal to the metal, so to speak, driving this year to be a very big, important year for you, anybody who's dog, because next year is dragon, which is going to clash you. So you're going to kind of have a year where there's a lot of momentum happening, and then next year change is coming. Okay, so it won't be the same, right? And so this is how we work with astrology to get ahead. So really good month for you to get going, set the pace, set your intentions, set your goals, and yeah, good luck. The pig is in general going to have a happy month. The tiger is their best friend. Okay, so when the best friend element comes along, like I said, opportunities come, pressure is released, things are easier. You could go on a holiday, but it's also, I would say, a really good month to make connections. Okay, now how many of you know how to make good connections? Like that you actually like good connections where people can help you, or where you can find the clients that you're looking for, or that you can get support that you need. Right? This is like, where would you go? I wouldn't say it's just going out for dinner, but maybe now you invite for dinner somebody that is successful, who can give you, who you could ask questions from, who you could get advice from. Okay, so yeah, Pig, you have a wonderful month this month. Yeah, enjoy it, but also see, I'm all about strategy. Use the month to get ahead by connecting with people that you've been hoping to connect. Maybe there's a guy who owns a company or something where you'd like to work. Maybe romantically, you'd like to meet someone. I don't know. This could be a good month for that. Two left, the rat and the ox. So the rat and the tiger are neutral, I guess, if you will, in a sense. But the rats will tend to, the stars are such that they support you. The stars are such that they support you for connection, and they support you for communication. It's a really good month to work on communication. Okay, and so by communication is, do you know how many people don't speak their truth with kindness, or with objectiveness, or with the goal creating win-win, right? And so this might be a really good month for you to work on communication in a way that actually changes how you do things, so that you support others, and then you in turn get supported as well. Okay, yeah, there might be a few minor unexpected problems, but nothing to worry about. And then the ox, finally, the ox and the tiger, they have an interesting combination. For those of you that are practitioners, the ox and the tiger are what's called a secret combination. And what that means by secret combination is inside the hidden stems, every single one, all three sets are combinations. So that means there's something hidden going on underneath the surface. Now, this can be positive or negative, I guess, in the sense, but what I would say, if you suspect, if your intuition is telling you something's going on, I would check it out, because there's a possibility that you're correct. Now, if you get an intuitive sign, I should go get health checked, or I should go talk to this person, or I should go double check, I go follow up on that, because knowledge in this case is power. I don't think anything really serious is going to happen, but it is one where the universe is going to test you. Are you paying attention to the signs I'm sending you? Because the ox is going to get signs this month that there's things going on, but it's not clear. Okay, so now this is up to you to actually learn to make it clear. Okay, and so yeah, lots and lots of opportunities. All right, so Feng Shui wise, now you guys know I just do a general one here, but in this month, and this is based primarily on the flying stars, okay? And if you have, there's some really good actually locations. And also those of you that follow me know I am not a doom and gloom flying stars practitioner, where the 5 is going to be terrible for you and the 2 is going to cause sickness or the 3 is going to cause arguments. I don't believe it. I believe if those things happen in your life, it's because you actually need to learn the lessons that they're showing for you. So if you have arguments, it's because you haven't learned the art of negotiation. If you have sickness in your life, it's because you are stuck in places where you need to look at to release, okay? And if the 5 brings change in your life by activating the 5, it's because it's a transformative star. And actually, honestly, as a soul, you are here in this lifetime to transform to a higher vibration. And the 5 can help you with this. But if you don't like change and you don't know how to work with it, for instance, if your feng shui is cluttered, ugly, stuck, dark, not flowing, and in an environment of what we call sha qi, noise, and, just not a good environment, then the negative qualities will show up. Anytime the negative qualities of stars show up in your life, it is because you have chosen it on some level. And it is actually revealing to you where you can work. Now, a lot of people, then it's like, how do you choose differently? I'm telling you what are some of the good locations, or what can you do? So for instance, the north this year, all year, the north sector of your house has very good energy. And particularly this month, it does as well. So I moved my furniture 2 weeks ago and reset things up so that my chairs, I have a chair in the north, I have one in the center, I have one in the south, I have my office in a specific location, because I am tapping into locations and directions. So if this is something that interests you to go more deeper, you might want to get a feng shui consultation with me, right? But this is how we use feng shui. It's like we understand what are your goals, and then we use this particular method of flying stars to support us to tap into the energy of magnetics, particularly, right? To open up our chakras, if you will, to align with our portals. To me, it's like, there's radio stations and you have to turn the dial and then you get to the dial and now you're hooked in. This is the same thing. We're hooking into the dial, right? What do you want? So this month particularly, really the short version is the south and the north and the west and the east actually all have really some positive energies. The east, though, is a little bit tricky to use, if you will, because the rabbit is in the east. Now you can sit and use the east. We just don't want you to renovate or disturb that. If you wanted to understand more of that, my replay of the full day course is still available to purchase on the website, and I go into depth with that, right? But this month particularly, I'm taking advantage of the north, which has a 4-9 combination, which is a Hey-2 combo, and plus 9 with 1 is a combo 10. I'm speaking a little bit technical here, but there's money opportunities and nobleman help opportunities by using the north. It's also a great place to put a fountain in if you want. And actually tomorrow in the Manifesting Magic, I'm giving some specific activations for activating with water with that. But for anybody, you can put water in the north this year, open the windows there, use that space, okay? If you need more authority though in leadership, now how do you know if you need more authority and leadership energy in your life? I love what one teacher says to me, if the dog doesn't listen to you, then you're not very good at being a leader. Right? Like if you can't get people to listen to you. So most of us on some level need to have more authority and leadership. So this month you can tap into that by using or being in the West more. Okay. And then the south has a very reliable energy, if you will. It's not as vibrant, but it can bring money opportunities, it can bring connection, and it can bring people. And so those are the three sectors in your house that I would focus on. All right, I have an activation here for you, okay? And so the activation is for February 17th, and there's two actually that you can do that day on February 17th, all right? Now the first one is at 9:30 in the morning for wealth luck, okay? February 17th at 9:30 in the morning, and it is in Southeast 3, the Snake. And you could put water there for 2 hours. You could clean that area. You could move furniture around, whatever, but it's like Southeast 3, the Snake. That's a wealth luck. The other one is at 3 p.m. that day in South 2, the Horse, same day, and it's a Hey-2 combo. If you want to activate to period 9 or future transformation luck, but also it's a Hey-2 combo, which is for noblemen, bringing in people who can help you. It's with the moon star and just getting lovely ideas and support, okay? That would be at 3 p.m. So could you do 2 water activations that day? You could just clean, you could sit in that area. This is a free talk. I give a very general activation that we can all use. All right, that takes me to the end of my recommendations. I just want to leave you with a statement, and then I'll look at your questions. Hi, Jing, nice to see you. It's like, so I want to leave you with the thought that how important it is to have an intention. Okay? Energy follows thought, right? Energy follows thought. And so the intention is, what is your intention each morning when you get up, right? For gratitude, for bringing in. And so my intention is, may the light and higher consciousness guide me. That's one of them, right? May I be guided by, because I know in my heart, when I connect to higher consciousness, I am connecting to love. And who doesn't want more love? All right? Because in higher consciousness, we are all connected. Okay? So I call with my intentions and to connect to light and higher consciousness. I ask for the courage to be the person that I need to be, to make the changes I need to do in order to be happy. And for all of us, may our angels and beings from the light be around us to support us, right? And that they guide us to the actions that we need to take, all right? So guide us through the life of our dreams. I'm going to end with one last thing here, is that I am starting a brand new course called Bazi Immersion, okay? Bazi Immersion, and it's going to start in March. I'm taking a total of 12 new students, okay? 12 new students, and it's already half filled. And so this is a 12-week program that'll go on for 2 classes a week. That'll be recorded on Thursdays and Saturdays, all right? And I'm going to take you through the whole process of becoming a master Bazi consultant. Now, there will be some repeat students in this class as well. There will be several TCM doctors and acupuncturists in this class. So this class will focus as well on how to see health with 5-element theory, how to understand the 12 stages of growth in more depth and how that affects the 10 stems, and lots of examples. So of course there's all the things about yin and yang and the 10 stems and the 12 branches and the interactions and the stars, but we're taking this deeper. And why this is an immersion program is I'm going to be hand holding you through the 12 weeks, which is why I'm only taking 12 students. All right. And you can click on the link there. And if that's something that interests you, do let me know. I'm really excited to be doing that program because my greatest joy comes, I've been teaching for more than 20 years here now, guys. It's not fun teaching when people just take a class. I shouldn't say not fun. I love teaching. But when people take a class and then don't and give up, I feel for you. I feel for you. I am teaching what I wish I had as support while I learned, okay? And so that's what I give. The golden rule, do unto others as you want to do for others. So if that's something that interests you, please check that out and get back to me, And so my wish for you, is that we get to live the life of our dreams, and may the light shine so bright that every day you know the next step to take on your path. So here's to 2023 being a beautiful year. Thank you all for being here with me. And all right, Melanie, you have a question. You can't put a water activation in your room where you're staying. You know what? If you were younger, I would say yes, you could, but it's true as we get older that having water in the bedroom is not the best thing. Okay. And so, but younger people, I know younger people in their 20s and 30s who do put water activations in their bedroom, but you can do a 2-hour activation and that is not going to hurt your bedroom. I just wouldn't put water forever, for the whole year as a running thing in your bedroom. Those activations, you're activating just that location. No, this is not Qi-Men, Patricia. I'm not introducing Qi-Men with this purposely, because I actually think in order to do Qi-Men, to properly get into alpha state, okay, is really important to know how to protect your energy with this. And in the old days, when we were in our past lives, we would do 10 years of learning meditation before we stepped into those types of activations. And my impression is a lot of time people who work with different metaphysical energies aren't physically strong enough. So I keep this gentle and I support you to get to the next levels. Yeah. And thank you all very much. And yeah, so tomorrow, last thing too, manifesting magic. So first Sunday of every month is the live class. So if you're just wondering, you want support, so manifesting magic to me, it's like $30 some a month. It's cheap, guys. Is a class that combines, I like to say, Weight Watchers with manifesting magic. Why Weight Watchers? Because there's proven science when people are part of a group together, it helps you commit to your actions. How many of you blow off your actions? You make an intention and then you don't follow through. Okay, so this is a group where there's some accountability. The other one is how many of you are good at goal setting, right? Need help with goal setting and defining. Because otherwise, you know what they say, it's like, how do you know where you're going? Otherwise, every road will do, right? So there's that. And so we do that. And so that's happening tomorrow morning. And so if you want to join us tomorrow morning for Manifesting Magic, Lois has posted the link. I am so grateful to all of you. And I am so impressed and respect for people who are showing up and processing the things that are going in their lives and making the changes. And I see that happening with so many of you. And so here's to 2023 being the year where the doors open and smooth opportunities come in and we take our lives to the next level. Bye-bye.